Marian Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
It's time for Balogun and Broad, and this is a Democracy Day special. But we're going to be looking at continuing a series that we've done all through this week, which is trying to understand why foreign businesses are leaving Nigeria. But then we're not stopping there, because we talked about investment promotion yesterday. Today we're going to talk about what's at the core of these businesses leaving Nigeria, and of course why the small businesses within Nigeria, while the medium, small and entrepreneurship businesses in Nigeria are struggling, and some of them are shutting down. My guest is, of course, the national president of the Association of Small Business Owners in Nigeria. That's ASBON, Dr. Femi Egbesola. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio. I know that I always learn a thing or two from you. Mr. Egbesola, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if I can say Happy Democracy Day.
Thank you for having me. Well, whether anybody likes it or not, it's a Democracy Day, and it has to be a happy one. So we take it like that. Happy Democracy Day from my side too.
Okay, welcome, sir. Well, over the weekend, the Senate, in fact, the National Assembly, had queried why international foreign businesses were leaving, packing up and leaving the country. And I'm sure that you must have a list of some of these businesses that have left over the years. I can remember as far back as Michelin when they moved to Ghana. The most recent is the makers of the diapers, Landmark in itself, that has moved to the Gambia. And as at yesterday, Guinness is going to sell its property over to some other company, and they're packing up and leaving. Nigeria Breweries is also marking time. It makes us really wonder what really is the problem. So I'm going to let you, because you are in a group of people who run businesses in the country. Maybe you'll be able to explain to us what's at the core of all of this.
Well, unfortunately, this time in our history in Nigeria, when I say we, I'm talking of business owners, are facing the most challenging period. We have avalanche of challenges back to back. And of course, you know that when it comes to multinationals, they have a choice. They have a choice to exit. While some of us who are here do not have that choice. We don't have that luxury. And one of the major reasons why they are leaving is because of non-profitability. The essence of doing business is to make profit. So if you no longer begin to make profits, the next thing is to begin to look at where else you can now make profits. That's why you see the exit of some of these multinationals. You will discover that our naira has become battered, has become highly devaluated. These multinationals, they gauge their profit in dollars. And as much as naira becomes devaluated, their profit comes lower and lower by the day. And another problem is for them to be able to even expatriate this profit back to their motherland, their mother country. So when they have this fund and they cannot migrate it back to the mother country, it becomes a challenge. You see many of them running at huge losses, very huge losses. You mentioned Nigerian breweries now. According to their report, for 2023, their losses was over 100 billion naira. That's a lot of money in terms of losses.
Wow.
They also have many other challenges that they are facing. One of it is the issue of power. Power is not stable, and it's also very expensive this time. It's also not easy to get other alternative energy for you to go and buy diesel to run your business. It's becoming very, very expensive, particularly this year. We also discovered that insecurities in the land. It's difficult for them to get their raw materials from some of this farmland, because they have to get their raw inputs from some of the local producers. It's difficult for them to go into the hinterlands to get their raw material as they used to be in the past. Also, too, is the issue of taxes. Government continue to increase taxes, direct and indirect taxes. Yes, we have the information that we have a committee for fiscal and policy reforms on taxes, but the recommendation has not been put to play. It has not been implemented, and this is affecting businesses. These multinationals have a culture of projecting their business in short, medium, and long term. They want to see what will happen in the next 10 years, the next 20 years, in fact, in the next 50 years. With the economy of Nigeria today, it is very difficult to do any projection for your business, because nothing is stable. Today, you have an bank interest rate of this percent. Tomorrow, the MPR is raised to another percentage. Next tomorrow is also raised. Some of them work with bank loans, both local bank loans and international bank loans. So when interest rate is not stable, it's difficult for them to be able to plan. It's difficult for them to also be able to live with their credit obligations. You also discover that many along their value chain are the small and medium-sized businesses that supply them one input or the other, one raw material or the other. These small businesses are also facing challenges. They are dying off, and they are not unable to fill this role. So they depend mostly on import. CBN also has just liberalized import, such that it is now easy for you to import anything into the country. Some of the products that they are producing before that are under ban are now being imported into the country, and it's competing with their products. And when it comes to the country and it is competing with their products, most of these imported products come cheap because the economy from the imported countries are very stable. The cost of production is cheap. When they come to our country, they become cheaper than the locally made one and give them stiff competition. You also look at it that some of them also have the issue of workers. Workers are no longer ready to take the stipend that they were paying them before because the economy is no longer stable. Everything is very expensive now. So the workers are agitating for more money, increment in salary, which is not incommensurate with the profit they are making. Another thing is that the purchasing power of the consumers has become eroded. It is so low now that someone before that can buy 5 consumable items will now come to buy 2 or 3. And when that is the case, you discover that their sales begins to also drop because the demand is no longer there. All these avalanche of issues are what is mitigating against this for multinationals and making them leave. They've done a lot to try to engage government over time, but it's not yielding any fruit. And unfortunately, it is sad to begin to understand that it is now that the National Assembly all need to begin to engage with these multinationals, so need to begin to find out why they are having issues. These are some of the things that should have been addressed ever before now, perhaps even last year when they started exiting the country. But let's see how it plays out along the line.
I don't know if it's something we should let's see how it plays out, but let me take you to the 3rd of June. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, said something, and I want to put it to you. And then, of course, let's talk about it. He said, and I quote, "The economy is growing. People are finding sources of funding, sources of equity, including government putting out its own share of private public sector funding for infrastructure in particular. And that is helping create jobs and grow the economy." What world does Wale Edun live in, please?
Well, to me, that's a policy statement that does not reflect on the streets. One thing is to have good policies, but another thing is for that policy to have positive effects on the masses. Those are not reflecting on the streets. If you look at the streets now, even local businesses are closing. Statistics shows that over the last 2 years, more than 2 million businesses, small, micro, and medium businesses, has folded up. That's a lot of figure that should give government concern. If things are right, if the economy is right, businesses should be thriving and not closing shop. So as far as I know, that is not too correct when it comes to yes, the coordinating minister is doing his best to see how he can put the economy on the right track, but at the moment, that has not been achieved. And it is an evidence that something is wrong with the policies. It is an evidence that the policies are not done in the right way or perhaps in the right direction. It means that there's need for government and actors of government to begin to sit down and look at how to begin to review some of these policies, reform some of these policies, or perhaps discard some of these policies that are not working. Well, the president cannot be going around the world looking for investors to come to the country when the local investors are leaving. It is sending negative signals to those who are supposed to become prospective investors in the country. I wouldn't want to go and put my money in a country where I know my friends are already exiting because of counting their losses day by day. So to me, governments begin to need to engage more with manufacturers, engage more with some of these multinationals, engage more with investors to begin to find out what gaps are there and how can these gaps be addressed. These gaps are beyond what I've just mentioned. There's some other issues that are very pertinent to our economy that is impeding business. One of it is port congestion. We bring in raw materials that we're supposed to use for 1-2 weeks. It's there in the port for 1-2 months. We can't clear them because of congestion. because of rising charges and levies every day that is mitigating against the business. And some of this cost, you cannot put it on the final product because it becomes too expensive for consumers to buy. The issues are so many.
You just touched a point of one of my callers. He sings it like a song, and I feel his pain. One of our callers, Raparuchuku, he continuously says, for every time you go to clear your goods, the prices go up, and he's paying millions and millions, and then at the end of the day, he's running at a loss. But I want to ask you a tricky question. I know that you're not government, but there have been many times where free trade zones and ports were supposed to be open. For example, I'll be biased. The Cross River State port that was supposed to be what would power Tinapa. The federal government had given a go-ahead to dredge that water to see so that those, the things would burst there. But then it all died out of politics. And now everyone has to come and queue in Tinkan. And then you're complaining about the fact that it's taking forever for those goods to clear. And of course, the high cost of clearing and all of that. If we were to take politics out of it, don't you think government should be open to more port cities and making those ports work?
That's how it should be. I would not expect somebody in the east coming to Lagos to clear. I would not expect somebody in the southwest that has access to the ocean to come to Lagos to clear. It's not done in advance work. We need to begin to innovate, to be creative about how we do business. Business must not be as usual the way we've been doing it for the past 10, 20, 30, 40 years. It's ridiculous. Everyone coming to the Nigerian port in Lagos to come and clear their goods. The enormous quantity of products, services, and other things coming through the port is so much that it is stressing that Lagos port. As of now, I even expect some state governors to begin to open up their port without waiting for the federal government. And if they do so, they will discover that it is going to generate their revenue. It is going to boost their revenue in a large way, such that it becomes easier for anybody to do business. Some of these businesses are located in far remote north. How can you begin to come to Lagos to move your raw materials down to the north when you have some southeastern states that are closer to you? It's just very ridiculous and begins to call to question, is the government really sincere about ease of doing business? That's my thought.
I had a former special advisor to the governor of my state at the time, Leo Limoke, who was in charge of investment promotion, and he talked about continuity. We all talk about it. We pay lip service to the fact that government is a continuum, but we also see that governments come and totally jettison what the previous government have done, and so they kill some of these ideas. For example, GE was that's General Electric, came to Cross River. They put in $100 billion, if I'm not mistaken, or $1 million to try to do something. And then, of course, because the new governor that came, Ben Ayade, did not follow through, I mean, of course, that business died. They lost that money and they sold their facility to some electrical company that took over. And that means that the jobs that could have gone to that state has perpetually gone to the dust. So let's not just talk about the federal government. What are states supposed to be doing also, keying in to make sure that the people, because the people of their states are supposed to be priority, the businesses, the small businesses are supposed to power their economy. What is your advice to state government?
Well, one of the key reasons why we have issues like this is because our constitution needs to be reviewed. Our constitution needs to be reviewed. A lot of powers are placed on the lead actors, that is the president and the governors. When we have a very strong National House of Assembly, we have a very strong State House of Assembly. When there's a blueprint for the state, the National Assembly or the State Assembly stick to the blueprint, no matter who is the government. But this time around, the governors dictate the tune. They do whatever they want. They scrap whatever policy or project that they meet on ground and put new ones in place. That is not supposed to be. If we really want to develop, we need to be thinking globally. We need to be looking at how politics is done globally. And that's the only way we can get it right. It's unfortunate that in this country, we see government coming up, new leaders of government coming up, and they decide because of one personal reason or the other, it comes to as low as personal reasons, dumping what the former governor or the former government has done and starting all over again. And that's why I'm happy that this time around, there's a constitution review going on. I don't know whether you are aware of that.
Yes.
And key stakeholders are already invited to come to come to submit their submission and insights into the new constitution review. One of the key things that should be reviewed now is that powers should be reduced from the lead actor, which is the governor or the president, and placed in the hands of the National Assembly or state assemblies. If we have this happening at this time, you will discover that government will become continuum because programs will continue. These are the programs that are supposed to support the masses, that are supposed to increase economy of the state and of the federal government, but are now jettisoned because of some draconian reasons. And I beg to say here that if we have the right people in place in the state and national assembly, a lot of things will begin to change. One of the things that will begin to change is that governors will not be going to the federal government cap in hand to beg for stipends in the name of allocation every month. All our states are endowed. We have a lot of endowment in all of the states that can make them self-dependent. But because there's always a national cake to share every month, and because the governors know that whether they perform or not, there is something to share, that is why they are decadent. They are more, or I don't want to use the word less responsible. I would rather say that they are not living up to their responsibilities. And that's what we need to change. So if your radio station too can begin to clamor for more participation in the constitution review, the constitution review should not be limited to some sector or some people. It should be all encompassing. Every sector of the society should be part of the constitution review so that we can all have a voice. And at the end of the day, we'll have a better constitution that will help to drive the economy, that will make the states independent, that will make the governors and the president less powerful, and for us to all gain in the democracy that we have today and that we're also celebrating today.
Well, in case you're just joining us, we're talking on Balogun and Broad, and my guest obviously is a man in business who's feeling the pinch, like every one of us who's feeling it. Mr. Femi Egbesola is the president of ASBON, and we're talking about why businesses are leaving Nigeria, the foreign businesses, and why small businesses are struggling. When we come back from the break, the phone lines will be open for you, Lagos. Join the conversation. All your questions can be answered, and of course, your concerns will be addressed. Welcome to Balogun and Broad. We're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. We're also on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. Post your comments on the live feed. And when we return, we'll be taking your calls. Stay with us.
There's a reason why over 1 million people tune into HardFacts every day. We discuss in-depth stories with sources behind the facts.
The Lagos State High Court
has convicted, suspended the Chicago certificate story is never going away, is it? Show with stories for the day.
You hear diverse voices and opinions.
And she was meeting her friend with her husband, knowing that.
You should not feel happy because there is nothing to happy about.
Yeah, it's quite pathetic the way the country is going.
We distinguish each story accurately with analysis.
It's Hard Facts with Marianne Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
To cook correct food, they always give me joy. That's now why anytime when they cook like this, I always season them with no cubes. Come add correct vegetables inside. Ugu, tatasheo, shombo, onions. No one I know they put. Now he make my pikin them, they always enjoy my cooking.
Daddy, I never will. I want more.
You summer all your food with correct vegetables. Come season them with no cubes for that ubonge delicious taste. Today, chop better.
Tell me which kind thing. Viva no fi wash. Away. Jenna tomato paste or coffee stain your body. Viva go wash. Away. Chicken in for your clothes now. All you need for Viva to wash away.
Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is that jollof ready?
Right on time.
Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma.
Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
I am happy. Hey, who carry ram where I type for backyard? Everybody for this house, come out.
What's happened? Ogamusa, why now?
I Ramo.
For this compound again. But wait, so Ogamusa, where you set for Sira?
Where I for Sira? Ram where Adro Homes carry for my domot this morning. But plot of land the way I buy for their estate.
Hey, even Musa said don't buy land.
No, be only land. I even collect 30% discount plus gift.
Yes, so actually Ilea promo don't come again. Oh, you fit enjoy 30 to 45% discount on any land where you buy this season with an initial deposit of 100,000 to 2 million naira, and you fit pay small for 12 and 24 months. You go go and get gift items like big ram, big cow, bag of rice, refrigerator, and many more. This promo now from now till July. Terms and conditions dey. For more tori, waka go any of our offices or call 090-9393-4115 or 080-2461-8283.
Hey, Ade, so now you carry my ram.
Ade.
Oga Musa, I say make I help you wash your ram so that when you kill her, you go give me small for inside chop.
Are you finding it difficult listening to your favorite talk radio Nigeria info via the mobile app? Come closer. Let me fix that for you. Now, launch the app on your device. Click the 3 lines on the top left corner of the app. Look for settings in the drop-down menu and click on it. Turn on the first option that you see. Make sure you turn on the option that says always use highest quality available audio. Now that you have done that, close the app and relaunch it. Voila! I did it! Oh, sorry, you did it. Now you can enjoy your radio anywhere, anytime. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Get in here, parents, teachers, and school principals. The Hares Insurance SA Championship is back. Your child could win 5 million naira scholarship and prizes for their school in the 2024 SA Championship. To enter, simply get your child to write a 500-word essay on the topic, "If I Could Invent Something New," and submit the essay on www.hairsinsurancegroup.com/essay. Hares is spelled HEIRS. The competition is open to students in JSS 1 to JSS 3 only. Application deadline is July 7, 2024. The Hares Insurance SA Championship is brought to you by Hares Insurance Group. For more details, visit www.hairsinsurancegroup.com.
New Lafarge Water Shield Cement now confirm. Number 1 waterproof cement for Nigeria. Yeah. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number 1 waterproof cement for Nigeria. Hey. New Lafarge Water Shield Cement number 1. New Lafarge waterproof cement now confirm. Good full stop for water wahala. With Lafarge Water Shield Cement, water go collect. If water jam house, foundation and basement to call. No shaking. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number 1 waterproof cement for Nigeria. Lafarge, na confirm. Cement, new Lafarge Water Shield Cement na confirm.
Put full stop for water wahala.
Here's how to tell the difference between aha and ah. When you see Pepsi's super dope new look, you go aha. Cause it's slick, got Riz, and it's really cool. But when you're enjoying the same great refreshing taste and you can't get enough, you go ah. See what I'm talking about? Grab a refreshing bottle of Pepsi with its cool new look and same great taste. Pepsi, thirsty for more.
Enjoy the delicious creamy goodness of Cowbell. Cowbell contains Vitarich and vitamin B9, which supports brain development. Use Cowbell in your tea, cereal, pap, and other meals of choice. Cowbell, so creamy, so good.
Chinedu! Don't worry, Ma. He'll be home on time, just like his dad. I'm cooking their favorite jollof with Sonia tomato mix. They are here.
Hey, is that jollof ready?
Right on time.
Your loved ones will always rush home for tasty meals prepared with Sonia tomato mix.
It's so good eating together with a family.
Yes, Ma.
Sonia tomato mix brings you together. Proudly Nigerian.
5 Alive Poppy. So much pulp. So many ways to pulp it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Filled with pulp in every bowl. Everyone pulps it their way. So, how do you pulp it?
Get in here, parents, teachers, and school principals. The Hares Insurance SA Championship is back. Your child could win 5 million naira scholarship and prizes for their school in the 2024 SA Championship. To enter, simply get your child to write a 500-word essay on the topic "If I Could Invent Something New" and submit the essay on www.hairsinsurancegroup.com/essay. Hares is spelled HEIRS. The competition is open to students in JSS 1 to JSS 3 only. Application deadline is July 7, 2024. The Hares Insurance SA Championship is brought to you by Hares Insurance Group. For more details, visit www.hairsinsurancegroup.com.
What takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness? Is it when it is cooked with no seasoning cubes for that sumptuous taste? Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans?
It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of Knorr cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
Business about information is not our thing.
We bring it to bed.
President Bola Tinubu says his 9-month-old administration has attracted $30 billion.
This government is full of propaganda.
One of the reasons why there is scarcity of food is because of the lack of coordination.
Nigerians want to see what you are doing. They don't want to hear what you want to do. The president himself said, he said, let the poor breathe. They are kneeling on our necks.
Nigeria Info.
Your station for talk.
It's 99.3. This is Hard Facts.
Indeed, it is Hard Facts. 99.3 Nigeria Info is the frequency. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itimian Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. My name is Mariana Konan Balogun Broad. We talk about big businesses, small businesses, startups, fintech, the average market woman, on the streets, the Bomo seller, everybody, it's all, everything that has to do with business and the economy. That's what we focus on Balogun Broad. And today we're talking about why foreign businesses are leaving the country. We're also emphasizing on the fact that even small businesses, medium businesses, and even the indigenous businesses are suffering. They're struggling. And we're looking at what's at the core of it. My guest is the president of ASBON, Mr. Femi Egbesola. He's been talking to us about, from a perspective of someone who obviously is feeling the pinch also, and also coming up with ideas as to what government needs to focus on that can actually help to lighten the load of businesses in the country. And before we went on that break, he talked about even port cities and the responsibilities of governors and governments at state levels and the need for continuity when it comes to governance. These and all are the things that we're looking at today. My guest is still with us, but I want to open up the phone lines, Lagos. Join the conversation. I still have more questions for my guest, but I want you to chime in Lagos. 0201 277 0993 1993, 2993 and 3993. You could also join the conversation on 080 959 75805. That's for WhatsApp. Join the conversation on YouTube. We're on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. On Facebook, we're on Nigeria Info FM. Post your comments. If you're listening to us from outside of the country, you want to participate, we are on Skype. We're Nigeria Info FM. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello. Welcome to Balogo and Broad. Hello.
Hi, Marian.
Good evening.
Good evening. This is Mrs. Oboli calling from Ikorodu.
Hello, Mrs. Oboli. You're a small business owner.
Good evening to your guest. You know how we go fight. So, Marian, is it that the government does not know what it should do? See, we keep coming with issues and we keep preferring solutions. More like we have square pegs in round holes. Do you want to start from the epileptic power supply we have? That alone is an anomaly of its own. Foreign companies won't stay. The light is not stable. They are losing on a daily basis. Now let's come to the small businesses we have. Same thing. Somebody that has gathered money to set up a frozen food establishment. Just something small. Before you know it, there's no light for days. You know how frozen food, from everything, chicken, all those things to get spoiled. So what are we saying? They won't stay. But my question to your guests this evening is, now that these people know, they've even known all this while, why are they doing this? Is it that they are aware? Is this a weapon or something? Will they open their eyes like this and watch as the company of these people, both foreign and local, crumble, has businesses crash down? Now, to buy diapers, even because they have left this country, and other things, injectables and all what have you. You now start importing, and the cost is crazy. Dollar rate and every other rate. Now, it's that these people know. They don't know what to do, or they are just doing it on purpose. I really want to know. You can just scatter my head, Marianne.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Oboli, for calling. 0201-277-0993, 0201-277-1993, 0201-277-2993, and 0201-277-3993. Someone says multinationals leaving Nigeria and small businesses struggling or shutting down is a no-brainer for the reasons staring at us all in the face. The sad part is this government is not sincerely facing this issue and addressing the obvious reasons. National Assembly playing politics and lip service because they're part of the multiple reasons. We have a rubber-stamped National Assembly failing to check the executive or effectively conduct their oversight functions. Nii from Omole in Lagos. Thank you, Nii. Someone says, good evening, Marianne and the guests. Why is it a Herculean task for states with seaports to be functional? Why is democracy not playing a role in decentralizing our resources across the country so as to depopulate several other states that are overpopulated, like Lagos State? Chisco from Ijegun. So I'm going to take a few more calls. I'm hoping that Mr. Egbesola is taking all his notes so that he can respond to you, even though he's not a government official, just so you guys know. Hello, welcome to Balogo on Broad.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, this is Joy.
Hi, Joy.
In fact, I'm really pained as to why these foreign companies are actually leaving the country. So to me, I don't want to say, but I'm trying to see it's as if there's a conspiracy somewhere, because these multinationals are leaving and they are selling their shares to some Nigerians. That's what they just want for them to just leave so they can just sell, and the politicians are the one buying these things. So there's something wrong somewhere. I really do not understand what this government is actually doing, playing out on Nigerians. It's really sad and unfortunate, and Nigerians are the ones bearing the brunt of all these things. Thank you, Mary.
Wow, Joy. You come up with these conspiracy theories. Mr. Egbesola, would you mind responding to Joy? She's saying there might be a theory here because, hey, who has the money to buy up these companies when the foreign ones leave? Obviously, the politicians. Is there something that we don't know?
Well, I need to say here that if it has been the politicians buying up these companies, it would have been better for us, because it means that those jobs will be saved. It means that those that are in their value chain supplying this and that will be saved. It means that revenue and taxes will still continue to come from those organizations. But unfortunately, it is not. Some of them has closed up and nobody bought them over, but people coming to just buy their factories to do other things. And then those that have been bought over are being bought by other multinationals. For example, you mentioned about Guinness, that has announced the exit from Nigeria now. They're being bought over by another Indian company.
Yeah,
coming up
Dago or something like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
Talomana or something like that. Still
Okay.
something. I can't really place it now. It's Guinness is being owned by Dagio, and they've been bought over now. Yes, they've been bought over now by one company that cannot really place their name now.
Okay.
But so it's not also a Nigerian company. So if it had been a Nigerian company or a politician, perhaps it would have been better. But that's not the case. And maybe I should also react some of the things that have been said. Should I go on?
Yes, please.
All right. It's unfortunate that our port has not engaged technology as it should. Without technology, there's little or nothing we can do. Technology needs to be embraced and adopted in all our processes this time. The world is going so advanced, even adopting AI this time. And that will have simplified and divested a lot of things that are happening in the port. We also need to diversify our economy such that quite a number of states have their port functioning, and those 4 ports are affordable and accessible to those who are doing businesses in and around the port. I would say that from my own perspective, the economic team of this country and this government at this time is not doing well enough. We need them to be more proactive. We need them to become more engaging with the stakeholders. One of the major problems we have in Nigeria here is that the policies that are being made are not being made with the inputs of the stakeholders. And when you make policies without the input of the stakeholders, you don't get all the submissions you're supposed to get. You don't get all the insights you're supposed to get. So eventually, at the end of the exercise, it may be a policy somersault or on the performance of the policy. Government needs to begin to engage those who are the real actors in different sectors of the economy. Some of these investors are not engaged. If government has engaged them ab initio, many of them may not have left because there may be one intervention or the other that government will have given to them that will encourage them to stay. And that is a big challenge. Even for the small and medium businesses that are in the country at the moment, are under severe pressure to shut down. I told you that statistics show that over 2 million has shut down already. And it is because the economy is not improving. The ease of doing business is not improving, and government is not really doing a lot to salvage the situation. When it comes to government coming up to alleviate the poverty in the land, poverty cannot be alleviated if small businesses are not thriving and doing well. These are the major employer of labor. They are the engine of growth. So if government must remove poverty, they must start by making sure that they provide the right environment for these organizations, these small, micro, and small businesses to thrive and grow and upscale. Without that, we'll be going around the same circle. You will discover that interest rate continues to increase day by day. How many small businesses can afford the interest rate that we have now, do business with it, make profit, and pay back the loan? And that's why we're having the highest debt profile in the country at the moment, in the history of the country. At the same time, too, these multinationals are also faced with these same challenges. Some of them need to get bank loans to work with, and the bank loans are not there. The banks that are even supposed to even give them the loans, some of them are not healthy. That's why you see Heritage Bank, they're folding up. And some of them too are not healthy. They are just trying to make makeshift cosmetics performance. That means that the economy is not right or A to Z. And it calls for a lot of questions. In some countries, there will have been a state of emergency declared on our economy, whereby we will have invited professionals, technocrats to come and help us look at our economy, rejig it, and let's see how we can move forward. We cannot continue doing the same thing over the years and expect different results. It just cannot happen. It's a time that we need to begin to see how we must do things differently. Government needs to begin to see how to engage professionals beyond what we have at the moment to come and salvage our economy. Without that, we may be moving down to another recession.
Talking about bringing technocrats, and I don't want to be snooty, but we have a tripartite committee that's put together that is shadowing the economic team, and these are the likes of Dangote, Tony Lumulu, and the likes. And these are supposed technocrats, but I don't know if it's a bit too early for us to begin to inquire if they really have what it takes to rejig the economy and re-strategize if these are also people who have businesses and have interests.
Well, you call them technocrats, I call them businessmen. They remain businessmen, whether it is Dangote, Tony, Emilio, and the rest, who has business interests. So when we have business interests, your subvision, your insights may not be totally valid. And you know that we have a lot of sectors in the country. Tony Elumelu covers just the banking sector and some other few sectors that has business interests. Madam Gote covers the manufacturing sector, the oil sector, and some of the sector that he has interests. There are so many other sectors we have in Nigeria, thousands of other sectors. We need to have technocrats that can cut across all board, provide solutions that are workable. Some of these solutions will go as far as reflecting in the lives of the average citizens. As far as we have policies that are not reflecting in the lives of the average citizens, that are not bringing down the prices of our goods and commodity, bringing down the prices of our food, making business easier to run, making our country easier to live in, reducing poverty level, increasing job opportunities, then we are not doing anything yet. Because that's the only way the country can be said to be doing well. The responsibility of the government is to see to the welfare of the citizens. When the welfare of the citizens are not well taken care of, or it is even below board, then there is a reason for questioning. And that's what we are doing with this program, questioning some of the things that are not going on with government and begging for solutions that can improve what is already on the board.
All right, well, Lagos, I still have 5 minutes on the clock, and we still have Mr. Femi Egbesola in the studio with us. Your questions, your thoughts are welcome. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well done. My name is Godwin, calling from Blackwell.
Godwin, go ahead, please.
Thank you for the good job and your guest there. The fact there remains unto our ruler woke up from that slumber and know that they are there not only for themselves and their genealogy not yet born, and begin to think on the generality of the well-being of ordinary Nigerians. That is where the implementation of any policy or so-called policy will come to life.
Okay.
But if there's remain on this deceitful way and propaganda system, only God knows what becomes.
Okay.
May God help Nigeria.
All right, Godwin, thank you very much for calling. Saturday on Facebook Live says the only way forward to change Nigeria is what happened in Burkina Faso to happen in Nigeria. And he says that criminals have taken over Nigeria, he says. Okay. Thank you very much for your message. I want to go back to the phone lines quickly. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from my name is Oladipo.
All right, go ahead.
Like your guest has rightly said, that the federal government has the privilege of inviting experts to come and look into our help us to arrange it. What is difficult there? See the ordinary masses, we are hungry, and look at all the avalanche of companies that are going out of this country. Is that a blow? Is that not shame for them? Let them forget the shame and let them invite the experts to come and reshape our economy so that we, the ordinary people, we will feel that we are in a better country.
Okay.
Again,
All right.
it should be shaped.
All right. Thank you very much. I don't know if it's shame, but I've had so many conversations today, Mr. Egbesola, and the question that keeps coming is that does the government not understand the suffering, the plight? Do they not see? Do they not hear? Do they not appreciate what we're going through, such that they should be thinking of the best to deal with this issue, as opposed to a tea party that they're having?
The body language of the government shows that they do not understand the realities of it. That's body language. If they do, you would not see so many of the things that they are doing taking place. You see budgets allocated to different very, very less important thing in the economy. You can see the debate going on at the moment, whereby the government is talking about taking the pension fund, 21 trillion of the pension fund, to fund infrastructure. Well, who does that? So I don't really think that government understand the plight of the average Nigerians, perhaps because they do not live amongst us. They have glass houses.
But they do live among us. What are you saying? They have houses in our communities and across the states.
They have houses in our communities that are heavily guided by security personnel. They live large. They go with entourage of vehicles where they don't pay for fuel, they don't pay for electricity, they don't pay for the basic things that ordinary average Nigerians pay for. And those things they even pay for are paid with government funds. And that's the mismatch that we're talking about. And that's why I say that a lot of things are wrong, and we really need to begin to look at how to make this change. Unfortunately for us, most of us talking are not in the position to make that change. We need to continue to talk anyway. Our advocacy one day we believe will be heard. I don't believe that they are criminals because they are people that we elect. It means that we perhaps also have questions to ask ourselves if we are actually electing the right leaders to the position of power, or we are electing based on some of the stipends that we receive during the electioneering period. All of us are in this together, and there's going to be a change. We all need to put hands on deck to make that change together. I don't believe that we need to go back to the era of military regime. That cannot solve anything. Yeah. Some of the statements we are making here, some of the submissions we are making here wouldn't have been possible if it is a military regime era. At least we have to some extent freedom of speech, and freedom of speech is a way to making a change, whether sooner or later. So we continue to talk, we continue to address the lacuna that we see and the gap that we see in the system, hoping that one day, sometime, government will hear and make that change. Well, if not, one day, sometime, some of us will get to government and be able to make the change.
Hopefully that day is very soon. But I want to say thank you. Mr. Femi Egbesola is the president of ASBON, and it's always a pleasure to have you in the studio to talk about these businesses and how they're faring. Well, let's hope that there's some sort of I don't know, light at the end of the tunnel in the closest future. Thank you so much.
Yes, I believe in hope. We should never lose hope. Many of the advanced countries started so rough and they got to where they are. And for clarity, our association is Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, known as ASBON.
ASBON, not ASBON.
ASBON.
ASBON. Okay.
ASBON.
Thank
you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity and also for having me on your program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Egbesola. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. All right. Well, Lagos, this is where we take a quick break. When we come back on the other side of the clock, I will be giving you my proper goodbyes, but stay with us. We'll be right back.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's